right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the beloved apostles and elders of Great Millstone, better known as GMS, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the tabernacle of David, beginning with the 144,000, and the rest of the men, women, and children out of the 12 tribes, whom Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai will ultimately have mercy upon. This is your brother M.0.T.B from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Melbourne, Australia. All right, back again with another end time prophecy update, pursuing around the M.0.T.B. All right, and this is an article that popped up a couple of days ago from the peoplesvoice.tv. All right, and before we get into this article, I just want to say the water for the Akim, for the prayers and stuff. I am doing a lot better in terms of how I feel in my body. I'm still struggling a little bit with, phlegm and stuff, trying to get rid of this cold. But I am doing much, much better in comparison to the last 3 to 4 days. So the water for that in advance, and the water Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit on me to be able to get up and to do this lesson. All right, so without further ado, let's just jump right in now. As you can see, this is posted as of June 25, 2025, and the title reads, RFK Jr. unveils plan to strap government tracking devices on Americans before 2030. All right, now we understand through the spirit and through prophecy, the end game of the elites, mainly the Edomites, all right, is to have everybody micro C-hipped according to Revelation, the 13th chapter, all right? And what you're going to find out is doesn't matter if they are a Republican or a Democrat. It doesn't matter which presidents were in office in past times all the way up until Donald Trump's time. All of them are on the same team, okay? And it doesn't matter what agenda from the left wing or the right wing they are pushing. All roads will lead to the M.0.T.B, which is the micro C-hip, okay? So getting into it, it says Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has unveiled what critics are calling a chilling and Orwellian plan to embed electronic surveillance into the daily lives of Americans. Under the banner of health, Kennedy is promoting the widespread adoption of wearable tracking devices, one for every man, woman, and child in the United States within 4 years. All right. And it doesn't surprise me that they given an account to have it within 4 years, because initially, if you've been following since the start of the C19 pandemic, they had something that was called the 2030 digital ID project, which if we Google that, let's just do this here. All right. If we Google the 2030, let's see here, ID project, right? So it says the 2030 ID project refers to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 16.9, which aims to provide legal identity for all individuals by the year 2030, right? It says this includes birth registration, access to digital identity systems. Achieving this goal is crucial for assessing essential services like healthcare, banking, property registration, and for broader participation in the digital economy. You see? So all of this is going to link to the M.0.T.B, which is the RFID micro C-hip. All right. So it's no coincidence that within the next 4 years, all right, he's bringing this to the forefront. all right, because we are in the year 2025, all right, so it would only make sense, okay? And then also taking into an account what's going on over there in the Levant region, all right, where now you have this war that's broken out with America getting involved between Israel and Iran's allies, be that of Russia and China, are now back in Iran. World War III is inevitable now. All right. So it's only a matter of time. It will make sense if you're measuring the time diligently within itself. Hey, the Lord could bring this all anywhere between now and within the next 4 years. But, you know, if you're in the spirit, in the right spirit, that is, you want this to come now. All right. So we can get the hell up out of here. But nevertheless, let's continue to read. It says, we are about to launch the biggest advertising campaign in health and human service history to encourage Americans to use wearables, Kennedy said in the House Committee on Energy and Commerce hearing on Tuesday. And he quotes, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years, said Kennedy, referring to the electronic devices designed to monitor biometric data, location, and behavioral patterns. And I want to play this video from X, all right, so you can hear out of his own mouth. Let's see if it plays. If it doesn't, it's all right. Oh, here it is. Salakia. All right. Let's see. Is it going to play? All right. Let me do this. Might have to refresh the page. Let's do this. All right. Now let's try.
Diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the MAHA agenda, making America healthy again. And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Following up.
All right. So that's the, that's what he's on at the moment. All right. Like we said, you know, it doesn't matter if they have a certain agenda from the left wing or the right wing. Guess what? Both left wing and right wing is still a part of the same bird. All right. So at the end of the day, it's all leading to one big agenda, and that's eventually to have everybody micro C-hipped. So going on, it says also, while Kennedy claims this initiative is the cornerstone of his Make America Healthy Again campaign, critics argue it's the Trojan horse for something much more insidious. And we, the prophets, agree with this, all right? Because we've been telling you, beginning with Elder Apostle Tahar, the rest of the apostles on down, all right, that this is the end game, all right? And this is also prophecy according to the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. It says the globalist dream of total population surveillance, long championed by the World Economic Forum, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and other unelected elite bodies. RFK Jr. was supposed to be the voice of resistance. Instead, he's threatening to deliver the globalist surveillance state under the guise of patriotism and health. It says the push for constant biometric surveillance is not new. The WEF, World Economic Forum, especially during the leadership of Klaus Schwab, has been publicly advocating for wearable and implantable technology for over a decade. And I have a video lined up to prove that in just a second. It says in 2022, Schwab's top advisor, Yuval Noah Harari, bluntly stated, "We are no longer mysterious souls. Now we are hackable animals." Even Schwab himself once praised China's authoritarian surveillance infrastructure as a model for the world, calling it an example of effective governance in his now infamous remarks at a WEF roundtable. China, which already uses a nationwide system of facial recognition, social credit scoring, and smartphone tracking, is widely seen by globalists as the testing ground for a digital control grid that could soon be exported to the West. And they're already doing it. In one instance, Me and the beloved brother Yashar, us being both out here on this side of the region in Australia, Salakia, they just last year around April in 2024, they passed here in Australia what's called the digital ID pack, which gives them the go ahead to start setting up facial recognition cameras, digital ID in terms of driver's license and stuff, which is all going digital now. What else did they set up? If you go to what they call the pub here to try to have a drink at the bar, whatever the case may be, the bartenders, they now have the right to scan you. And if you have any defects on your driver's license, fines or whatever, stuff like that, they can actually bar you from having a drink at the bar, even at the casino as well, downtown in the city. All right. So they're starting to implement these measures across the board, and it's only going to get much tighter. All right. But nevertheless, it says now with RFK Jr.'s plan, that future appears to be knocking on America's door. The Biden administration and international health organizations laid the groundwork for digital monitoring during the C-19 pandemic with contact tracing apps, the serpent juice passports, and proposals for digital health IDs. Now, with Kennedy's proposal, critics warn we are entering the next phase, making digital surveillance devices as common as smartphones or mandatory. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has been at the forefront of funding biometric tracking technologies in developing nations, including wearable pregnancy monitors, digital juice records, and biometric identity systems tied to financial access. Critics say these same systems are now being imported into the U.S., rebranded as health tech or wellness innovation. All right. And this is something that Esau has a tendency of doing. OK, this is why the scripture says we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right. Because Esau, he's not smart. All right. The scriptures calls him the basis of men. What they do is they go by a formula. All right. Where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right. And so a lot of these things is the ideas that they put out. What they do is they just rebrand it or repackage it to give you some sort of feel good, fancy name behind it so that you can accept it. All right. As they continue to lead the sheep to the slaughter. OK. It says if the vision becomes reality, every American could soon be outfitted with a government approved electronic tracker monitoring their health metrics, movements, behaviors, and perhaps even political loyalties. Freedom advocates are calling for immediate public debate, transparency, and legal safeguards before this vision becomes a chilling new normal. All right. So that's pretty much the article. And as I stated earlier, it's no surprise that they're really trying to push this forward because they know that they have but a short time, all right, in their rulership. So now let's go ahead and let's load up this video I have here, my lesson videos folder, all right, just to get you up to date of what's going on here. Now this video that I have loaded up here, I want to say was pretty much loaded up about 2021, I want to say, and it's a mirage of different videos put into one. All right.
Evolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological identities.
In 10 years, when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants.
Around 2030, I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface.
Wow.
Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
FDA approved the first electronic pill, if I can call it like that. So it is basically biological chip that it is in the tablet. And once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that, compliant.
The new accounting is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy. This new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction.
Where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker.
With especially the rise of brain-computer interfaces and biometric sensors and so forth, it is very likely that within, say, 50 years, people will literally be part of a network. All the bodies, all the brains would be connected together to a network, and you won't be able to survive if you're disconnected from the net, because your own body parts, your own immune system, perhaps depends on being constantly connected to the colony, to the network.
Okay, so as he said, you won't be able to stay connected basically to the grid, the economy, because this trackable device, which really is going into the RFID micro C-HIP, which is their end game for all humanity. This is a direct link to biblical prophecy in Revelation, the 13th chapter. And as a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and pray the video, Aaron Russo. All right, let's check this out. This is fair use.
The ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the M.0.T.B, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is giving me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip, and you have nothing.
Right. And I'm gonna leave it at that, because he goes into some pretty more damning information regarding the interview that he had with Alex Jones, which you can look this up. You won't find this direct interview, I don't think, on YouTube, because they pulled it down. But if you go on other platforms such as BitChute, Odyssey, they actually have this full interview up where you can be able to access it. All right. Some people may also have it on their Patreon channels as well. But for the most part, you can find this on other platforms outside of YouTube to watch the entire interview. And basically, Aaron Russo was he was a friend of one of the Rockefellers back then, and they gave him the blueprint on what they want to do to all humanity, pertaining to having everybody incorporated into a digital economy via having an RFID micro C-HIP implanted within them. So, I'll get one more video for good measure. You can hear it out of the horse's mouth. This is Klaus Schwab.
Au bout de ça, on parle de puces qu'on pourra s'implanter. Ce sera quand ça?
Certainement dans les 10 années à venir.
Et d'abord, on va les implanter dans nos vêtements, c'est-à-dire wearables, comme on le dit. Et après, on pourrait s'imaginer qu'on les implante dans nos cerveaux ou dans notre peau. Et à la fin, peut-être il y a une communication directe entre notre cerveau et le monde digital. Ce que nous voyons, c'est une sorte de fusion du monde physique, digital et biologique. On appelle quelqu'un, on n'a même plus le réflexe de devoir prendre un appareil, ça se fait naturellement. Hein. La technique continue le corps. Oui, vous parlez, vous dites, je veux maintenant...
Right. So there you go. And that was this interview, as you can see in the date, that was taken back in the 10th of January 2016. So just shy of almost 10 years ago. All right. And so around that time, you know, they was just getting the technology together. So fast forward 10 years, they have all the pieces, all right, put in position to put this on a global stage. All right. All right. So now let's get some precepts and close out. Okay. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right. And when you go into that word devices, all right.
Strong's G 3540. Naima.
All right. Outline biblical usage says a mental perception, a thought, an evil purpose, that which thinks the mind, thoughts, or purposes. So that evil purpose, all right, is the, what we've shown you to be that of giving humanity trackable devices, which is going to be implanted within them. All right. This is the end game of Esau. Strong's definition says a perception, a purpose, the intellect, disposition itself, device, mind, or thought. All right. And this is this man's his thought process on what he wants to do. All right. This is Psalms 55:21. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. And his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right. Because RFK Jr., he's disguising this method under the Health and Human Services. All right. He's deeming it, they're repackaging it and wording it in a certain way to make it look like for the benefit of the people. All right. So they're going to speak smooth words. They're going to align themselves by thinking that they're doing you a due justice to you and your family, to the social services that they provide, all to be under the, behind closed doors, an evil scheme, one that is very wicked, a wicked device, a wicked thought at the end of the day. All right. Psalms 37:7. It says, rest in Yahweh and wait patiently for him, and fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Because ultimately we know this is the end game. All right. As it says in Habakkuk, let's get that real quick. Habakkuk 2:3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and it will not tarry. And this is the vision. All right. This is what John the Revelator saw. All right. According to Revelation, the 13th chapter, which let's finish off with that. All right. Because this is one of the main prophecies that we are supposed to warn the flock. This is Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, as always, when you go into the word mark, the Greek word is charagma, which is an incision. All right. And when you further go into the word charagma, it goes back to the Greek word charax, the etymology, which simply means a sharp pointed palisade which is a utensil that's going to be used to help insert that implantable device, right? Now, it says whether it be in their right hand or on their foreheads, because through those videos, they also mentioned about having C-hips implanted in your actual brain. And we understand that Elon Musk is one of the top guys in position right now at the forefront through his Neuralink technology that's testing those C-hips within people's brains. All right, all you got to do is do a simple Google search and you'll be able to see that. Now, what brings this all together is the very next verse to show you that this is a physical mark and not a spiritual one. All right, it says Revelation 13:17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now, if you was paying attention, all right, if I come back to my list of videos, there's a key part here of what was said when Klaus Schwab, let me just take it here, right about there.
To survive if you're disconnected from the net, because your own body parts, your own immune system perhaps depends on being constantly connected to the colony, to the network.
Right, let me take it back just a little bit more.
The bodies, all the brains would be connected together to a network, and you won't be able to survive if you're disconnected from the net.
Right, so basically, in a nutshell, when he says if you're disconnected from the net, that can also mean if you don't take it, you're not going to be able to pretty much take part within a digital society. So that clearly lines up to what John the Revelator saw here at Revelation 13:17, when he says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, showing you that this is a physical mark. It's not a spiritual one. You have certain camps out here, all right, that is leading people astray and breaking down Revelation, the 13th chapter, verses 16 to 18 incorrectly. Okay, they're not the true man of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua at the end of the day. All right. And if you cannot see where this is going, and if you cannot put two and two together, then ultimately it's because the Lord doesn't want you to see. And as Apostle Tahar always says, you're going to end up taking it and you're going to be destroyed at the end of the day. So Revelation 13:18, here is wisdom, all right, which everybody doesn't have. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right. And when you break that down, it goes back to the word stigma. All right. Which when you go into it, you have cheese size stigma. All right. And it says here under stigma, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To the ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. So in retrospect, it's the same thing. The only difference is it's being repackaged. All right. And it's going to be in the form of a RFID micro C-hip. Strong's definition says to stick or prick a mark incised or punched for recognition of ownership, figuratively a scar of service. All right. And so once again, if you can't put two and two together to see that this is the end game, then I really don't know what else to tell you. So we're going to end it there. I pray that this lesson was edifying, and I want to give all praises, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kodash. Double honors to the beloved apostles and elders of Great Millstone, better known as GMS, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the tabernacle of David. And so on to the next, Lord's will. Shalom.